Hi, my name is Arlene Sanabria. I am the host and narrator for a storytelling podcast called Las Maridos that can be found on the Anchor app. This is my first story that I am narrating based on characters that I created of two very strong women who, through a series of unfortunate events, were made to be something that in their youth they probably didn't even dream of ever becoming. These were wholesome women, so to speak, who were going to turn to religion when they grew up and instead became female assassins. I wrote this story years and years ago. Now, if you caught the very first episode of the podcast, all it is a very brief intro as to how the women came to be, where the idea for them came from. And if you follow Islo's music, which after all of this I hope you do, look up a band called Casa de Calacas, and they are on YouTube. You'll be able to see all their music videos there. But there are two videos that are an homage to cine mexicano, old-fashioned Jose Alfredo Jimenez, Pedro Infante, Jorge Negrete, that style of black and white, golden age. And it's two songs. One is Ella, and the other is Y Ándale. And during the course of this filming, for Ella, for the first one, is where the idea of the women came from, and it kind of just followed through in the second video for Y Ándale, because you'll see the same female characters that my best friend and I play. It is amazing to me that this idea for this one particular story came to me simply wanting to create side characters, and I never dreamed that they would overwhelm me so much, that I would amazingly so love them so much. And for years I kept them on the back burner because I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do with them. I was procrastinating. I was afraid of how it could be taken. I'm a doubt in the ability, I suppose. Who knows? I had originally thought of writing a book, making them a book. I had thought of making them a comic, which is still the avenue that I would like to take with them, simply because they are so violent, they are so action-packed, they are so intense that I think they would be really cool comics. And, who knows from there, but they were and still are women that stay with me, that I think about a lot and often, and I turn to the story all the time, and I'm always tweaking it, I'm always revising it, I'm always editing it, and there are times when I had to walk away from it because I didn't know what I was doing anymore, and I didn't want to veer too much from what it was, because from this one very short story about two women, I wrote another based on a character in that, and then I wrote another based on the characters in that, and another, and what was once one story is a series of 6 now. And I feel like a coward just keeping it to myself and not having the balls, I guess, to put it out there and to be out there, because not everybody's going to like it, and not everybody's going to read it, not everybody's going to listen to it, and I was too busy with the feeling behind that, and I realized that fuck it, you kind of have to do it, because in the end, ultimately now, it's not for anybody else, it's for me. I'm needing to complete the things that I start, because I've reached this point in life where procrastination isn't cute anymore. It's not it anymore. And this is my passion. This is what I love to do. I love to tell stories. I love to write stories. I love composing characters. It's my thing to be in a room full of ideas and just put everything together to make up something that takes a life of its own. So this piece will be the journey. This thing that I am posting on YouTube will be the journey of how all that goes down. Of course, I'm going to promote everything on social media. It's hard not to. Everything's going up on Facebook, and good golly, I activated a Twitter account, on Snapchat, on absolutely anything I can think of to get it out until the whole series is done. And then I'll feel like I can breathe again, because there is this indescribable weight that's like it's been lifted off my shoulders. And I only did one tiny intro, a 3-minute intro that that took maybe 2 hours to do, because I'm not accustomed to hearing the sound of my voice. I'm not accustomed to making mistakes. I went to school where is drummed out of you, and every time I catch myself saying it, I'd stop and re-record and stop and re-record and stop and re-record, and this was almost an endless process. But it got done, and I did it. And throughout the week, I'll hopefully release an episode a week, maybe an episode a day for the first one. I'm not too sure. I don't know how it'll be received, but I can cross my fingers, because I'm happy. And I think that sharing this process and sharing the journey is important, not only for people to see how it came about, but for me. So I hope you follow.